All right, so today we're diving into a field that's seriously booming right now, and that's how to totally ace that interview for a granulator machine operator.
Definitely a hot topic.
You might be thinking, okay, what's a granulator machine operator? It sounds a little, I don't know.
A little niche?
Yeah, like behind the scenes.
It is a little bit behind the scenes.
But these are the folks taking those powdered ingredients and turning them into the tablets and capsules we rely on.
It's a crucial role people don't realize.
Right, and the demand is through the roof. So we're going to arm you with what you need to know to impress those hiring managers.
We've got the inside scoop.
That's right. We've got real interview questions lined up, and we're even going to bring in RoleCatcher to show you how they can give you an edge.
Like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Totally. But let's set the scene first.
All right, I'm ready.
Imagine you're face-to-face with a hiring manager. What's that first question they're going to hit you with?
Almost guaranteed it's going to be about your experience. Something like, can you describe your experience operating granulator machines?
Okay, pretty straightforward, but how do you make your answer stand out?
Don't just say, yeah, I've used them. Get specific. What types of granulators have you worked with? What about the actual processes? Wet granulation, dry granulation, fluid bed processing. Even mentioning specific products you've helped create shows you know your stuff.
It's like the difference between saying, I like to cook, and then like actually listing your signature dish.
Exactly. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI comes in.
Oh yeah, tell me more.
It digs into your resume, sees what the job needs, and basically says, hey, here's where you can add those details that'll make them go, wow.
Like a personalized resume editor who's laser focused on this industry.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, so let's say they follow up with something like, how do you make sure the granulator machine is running smoothly and effectively? What are they really getting at there?
They want to see that you're proactive, not just reacting to problems.
So anticipating those hiccups before they become big issues.
Yes. Talk about how you actually monitor the machine's performance, maybe even mention things like production rate, granule size distribution, those specifics.
So instead of just saying, I fix things when they break, you'd say something like, I monitor the granulator's performance, keeping a close eye on those indicators to consistently produce those high-quality granules.
Now you're speaking their language.
Right. Okay, but machines, they have a mind of their own sometimes, so what happens when things actually go wrong?
Truth.
Yeah.
How would you answer this? How do you handle maintenance and repairs on a granulator machine?
Because, I mean, you can't be a master of everything.
Be honest about what you're comfortable with. Troubleshooting, routine maintenance, specific repairs you've handled. Be upfront.
So if you're great with, like, replacing filters, cleaning, but wouldn't go near the electrical system, just say so.
Exactly. And if you know specific maintenance protocols, things like lockout, tagout procedures, mentioning those shows, you're serious about safety.
Which is huge GE in this industry.
Huge. Absolutely.
And this is actually something RoleCatcher can help you prepare for, too. They've got those practice questions specific to this, even simulated interviews.
It's like having that practice run before the big game.
Totally. Okay, confidence boost time. Let's tackle a classic. Tell me about a time you had to troubleshoot a problem with the granulator machine.
Ah, the dreaded behavioral question. This is where you show off those problem-solving skills.
No pressure.
None at all. The key is to have a good story, something specific that shows how you think on your feet, used your knowledge, and solved that problem.
So paint them a picture.
Exactly. What was the problem? How did you figure it out? Did you check the pressure gauges, the impeller? Maybe you adjusted the feed rate? But most importantly, how did you fix it? What did you learn?
It's showing that thought process, that ability to learn from those curveballs.
And again, RoleCatcher can help you craft that story by picking out those moments from your past that really highlight those skills.
Makes sense. All right, next question. How do you prioritize tasks when you're running that granulator machine?
All about organization. Think about everything involved. Loading the ingredients, keeping an eye on things, documenting, cleaning.
Right, it's a lot to juggle.
How do you keep it all straight? Do you have a system, use any tools? Maybe you rely on scheduling software?
Maybe you're a color coding pro.
Exactly. Highlight those methods, especially in a fast-paced setting like manufacturing.
And RoleCatcher can give feedback on this too, right? They've got that AI that analyzes and says, hey, maybe try this.
Exactly. It's like having a second set of eyes on your answers, helping you spot anything that might be missing.
Speaking of crucial things, let's talk safety. How do you make sure the granulator is running safely and following all those regulations?
This is where knowing those regulations is key. OSHA guidelines, GMP, any safety procedures specific to granulation, know them inside and out.
So don't just say, I follow the rules.
Right. Show them you understand those rules and how you use them every single day.
So for example,
Talk about how you do those pre-operation safety checks, making sure those lockout procedures are followed to a T, or even how you spot and report potential hazards.
so you're being proactive about safety, not just reactive.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get specific. Mention those acronyms like GMP or OSHA.
Because that's how they talk in the pharmaceutical world.
It shows you speak the language.
Love it. And I bet RoleCatcher has a gold mine of info on these industry regulations and protocols, right?
Oh yeah, they're all over it. It's a lifesaver, especially when you need to brush up on those essential details.
Perfect. Now let's talk quality control. How do you ensure the granulator is churning out those top-notch tablets and capsules?
This one's all about understanding that what you're making directly impacts patients' lives. It's a big deal.
The stakes are high.
Talk about your process, how you monitor everything, how you perform checks on the particle size, the moisture content, those details. And if there are ever any deviations from the standard operating procedures, how do you document and address them?
So it's about being a stickler for those SOPs.
Absolutely. Every single batch has to meet those pharmaceutical standards.
Speaking of precision, let's talk calibration.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
How would you handle the question? How do you ensure the granulator machine is properly calibrated?
Calibration, my friend, is the key to consistency. It guarantees that your equipment is giving you accurate and reliable results every single time.
Right, no pressure.
Right. But really highlight that you take this process seriously. What steps do you personally take? Do you verify those calibration records, use certified standards? Do you meticulously document the entire procedure?
So if you've got experience with certain techniques or tools, this is the time to mention it.
Absolutely. Talk about maintaining those logs and how you make sure the equipment is always playing by the rules, hitting those specifications.
I like it. And again, this seems like another area where RoleCatcher can really come in handy. They have that database of questions for different industries, so you can practice and get feedback on your answers, making them even better.
They even have AI that analyzes those responses and suggests improvements.
It's like having a personal career coach in your pocket, which is pretty cool.
It's a game changer.
All right, one more question for this section, and it's a big one for those production managers. How do you ensure the granulator machine is cleaned and maintained properly?
Ah, the million-dollar question. This one's all about preventing contamination, ensuring product quality, and let's not forget complying with those super strict regulations.
So more than just wiping it down at the end of the day.
Way more. Be ready to describe your cleaning routine step by step. What agents and techniques do you use? Are you following those validated cleaning procedures? Do you know those SOPs, standard operating procedures, like the back of your hand?
And documenting everything, right?
Crucially, it's all about proving that you're doing it right every single time.
Okay, last one for real this time, and it's one that tends to trip people up. How do you make sure the granulator machine is being operated within budget? What are they really trying to figure out here?
They want to know if you're thinking about the bottom line. Are you being cost effective? Are you working efficiently?
So it's about being budget conscious while also being a technical whiz.
Exactly. Highlight any efforts you make to minimize waste, get the most out of materials, reduce downtime basically, how you contribute to a lean, mean manufacturing machine.
So instead of just saying, I don't waste stuff, give them an example.
Right, like maybe you found a way to use less energy during the drying process, or you streamlined a cleaning procedure to save time and resources.
Those are the kinds of details that show you're thinking beyond just operating the machine.
Exactly. And you know who can help you dig up those examples?
Let me guess. RoleCatcher.
You got it. It can help you pinpoint those achievements that show you're a rock star when it comes to cost consciousness and problem solving.
I love it. It's like that secret weapon that helps you uncover those hidden gems from your career and make them shine.
You said it.
Okay, we've covered a lot of technical stuff here, but acing an interview is about more than just knowing the ins and outs of a granulator machine.
It's about those soft skills, too.
Let's talk about where this job can take you. Let's say you nail the interview. You're officially a granulator machine operator. What's next?
The cool thing about this field is there's a lot of room to grow.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Get some experience under your belt, the right attitude, and you can move up to positions like production supervisor,
Okay.
quality control manager,
Ooh,
even process engineer.
those sound like some pretty sweet gigs. Yeah. How do you go from, like, running the machine to calling the shots?
It all comes down to, always learning, taking extra courses, getting those industry certifications we talked about. Those are like gold stars on your resume.
Right, they show you're serious.
Exactly.
And speaking of showing you're serious, can we talk about RoleCatcher's Career Compass feature? I've heard good things.
Oh, yeah, that's a game changer.
Tell me more.
So you put in your skills, experience, what you want to do in the future,
Okay.
and RoleCatcher uses AI to map out possible career paths in your field.
So it's like personalized career advice.
It's like having a roadmap to success, specifically for you.
That's amazing. Especially for someone just starting out in pharmaceuticals, right?
It helps you see what you can achieve, make smarter choices about, where you want to go.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about painting a picture for those hiring managers.
Yeah.
How can someone really bring those career stages to life during an interview?
Storytelling. Don't just list what you did. Tell a story that shows how you've grown. Let's say you're entry level. You could talk about how you became the go-to person for the basics, how you were all over those batch sizes and ingredient formulas, how you aced those safety protocols, basically, showing them you're reliable and eager to learn.
So it's about showcasing those foundational skills.
Exactly. And if you're a junior operator, you want to show that you're becoming more independent. Maybe you're running the machine solo now, setting up those batch sizes yourself, even handling those small problems that come up.
Taking on more responsibility.
Exactly. And those GMP and HACCP certifications, those become really valuable at this stage.
Because they show you can handle it.
Right. You're not just competent. You're committed to those high standards that pharmaceutical companies need.
Okay, so now let's talk about the senior operators.
The pros.
They're basically running the show, right?
Pretty much. They might be overseeing multiple machines, fine-tuning those ingredient formulas, training new operators. They're the experts everyone goes to.
So they've moved beyond just operating. They're leaders, mentors.
And that experience, knowing those machines inside and out, the processes, the regulations, that makes them super valuable.
Absolutely. So for someone looking at the long game here, what kind of career advancements are out there for a seasoned granulator machine operator?
Well, we talked about moving up to production supervisor, managing a team, making sure those quality standards are met across the board.
That sounds like a rewarding challenge.
Right. And if you're passionate about quality, a quality control manager role could be a good fit.
Making sure everything meets those pharmaceutical requirements.
Exactly. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's also rewarding knowing you're making sure those medications are safe.
Right, that's a big deal.
And for those who are always tinkering, always wanting to make things better, there's the process engineer route.
So they're the ones coming up with new and better ways of doing things.
Exactly. They're constantly innovating, pushing the boundaries in pharmaceutical manufacturing.
Wow, that's exciting. It really shows this isn't just a job. It's a career with a lot of potential.
And that's what makes it so interesting. Always something new to learn.
You mentioned continuous learning earlier. What are some concrete ways people can stay ahead of the game?
Workshops and seminars are great, especially ones focusing on the newest pharmaceutical manufacturing techniques.
So you're staying updated on the latest and greatest?
Exactly. And you meet other people in the field.
Networking is so important.
It is. You can learn from each other's experiences.
What about certifications? We talked about GMP and HACCP. Are there other big ones employers look for?
If you want to specialize in granulation, there's the ISPE, International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering's certification program. They have a Certified Pharmaceutical Industry Professional designation, the CPIP, and you can specialize in solid dosage forms.
It's like a super specialized certification.
You just employers, you're serious about granulation.
Right, you've gone above and beyond.
Exactly. And it's not just about those technical skills.
Oh yeah, soft skills are so important too.
Mm.
What are some of the must-haves for a granulator machine operator?
Attention to detail is huge. You're dealing with precise stuff. Even a small mistake can have a big impact.
So you've got to be on top of it.
And because you're often working on a team, communication is key. You've got to be able to talk to your colleagues, your supervisors, even other departments clearly and effectively.
So you're not just managing the machine, you're managing those relationships too.
Right. And the pharmaceutical industry is constantly changing, so being adaptable is essential.
You've got to be ready for anything.
Exactly. You need to be able to learn new things quickly, stay calm under pressure, especially with those deadlines and those high-quality standards.
Because at the end of the day, you're making medications that affect people's lives.
It's a big responsibility. And finally, a strong work ethic and a positive attitude go a long way.
Those are important in any job.
They really are. It shows you're a team player, someone who's willing to put in the extra effort, and that's what employers want.
Someone they can count on.
Exactly.
It's about showing that enthusiasm, showing them you're the right fit.
Exactly.
And you know what can help you do that?
What's that?
RoleCatcher. Having a tool like that through this whole process, from that resume to those interview questions, it's a game changer.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
It's like having that extra support, that boost of confidence when you need it most.
totally. Well, there you have it. A deep dive into the world of granulator machine operators. It's amazing what goes on behind the scenes of those medications we rely on.
It's pretty incredible.
To everyone listening who's ready to make their mark on the pharmaceutical world, go get them.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.